don't have to wait any longer. It's game number 2 for sure. Blacklist International going up against FIMP, and the Fanny was picked up. Abstract. Now, you have to take it away.
As we move on in Land of Dawn, approaching game number 2. Blacklist International versus FIMP as the creeps marches right out.
All right, Gideon, I have a simple question here, right? A lot of people have been able to make this Fanny work against Blacklist, but how do they make it work?
Most of the time when we start thinking about Fanny, right, we're talking about that early game pressure. We're trying to look for ways to kind of set up dives. So we have to start thinking about strong and weak-sided lanes. And in this particular case, it's going to be down on the bottom side of the map. But that's why Blacklist are sending Oh My Venus to make sure that Sunshine doesn't find that early aggression, doesn't find that early trade, and forces him back. The response for FIMP, send Apex back down.
So ultimately, what Blacklist International wants to have is a 2 versus 2 in the bottom lane and forces Apex 47 to, not give that much of a vision. Technically speaking, Fanny, once he's pretty much got his purple buff, he can pretty much zoom everywhere, and if FIMP doesn't really quite have that kind of understanding, it will not be that good.
Okay, that's a lot of damage placed onto Cura. Man, didn't expect that burst coming in, but Cura seems like he is comfortable on the Fanny. That is one of the concerns for a lot of people playing the Fanny on stage. Will you be able to make these mechanics, these cables work?
I mean, even if he's not getting these kills, right, at the end of the day, he is influencing.
They're going in again with the cables. Wise gonna be targeted down. Doesn't have the Appraiser's Wrath just yet, but now finds the stacks. The Appraiser's Wrath will be ready for him as Alien jumps in once again. Just there. Oh, the flicker from Alien, and he's gonna be able to fight for his blood. Ooh. Maybe, just maybe a double kill, but Edward is able to escape. Farflux Impunity, already a very, very different playstyle here.
Oh, spicy stuff. I mean, immediately we start seeing the rotations. Immediately we see a potential dive, and Edward, he can't get back in there.
Cura, though, under the turret, will try to burst your way down, and it's going to be Kazue, who barely is unable to find the range.
I really like the very fact that FIMP, they have got Sunshine and Kazue actually gonna be on the mystery shop. They want to get online a lot earlier. They're probably wanting to look for that snowball potential, riding all of that hope onto Cura.
I mean, yes, they are trying to make sure that they scale up as fast as they can, but it's the fact that they also have that Fanny, right? You're not expecting Fanny to do it all by herself.
That's right.
You need to have a couple of people to walk up. Now, these neutrals is where it's going to get difficult, because keep your eyes on Apex. You could turn these around.
All right, that's the Numenon Blast charged in Venus, but it seems like Fireflux Impunity, they understand that their composition is built around picking these members off in the early game, utilizing the Fanny, so they will just ignore the first neutral objective.
Even in these cases, right, we're hoping that Cura is able to kind of speed up the game, he's able to farm hard, but when you're up against a tank, and especially when you're up against Wise, he immediately is looking for that level lead. He wants to make sure that he starves his enemy opponent jungler out.
So currently Wise is at level 6, Cura is level 5. We're not really looking at too much of a gold lead, despite the fact that FIMP did manage to get a single kill, while Blacklist International gets that turtle take. In the meantime, right above the top line,
okay, Cura's gonna be locked down right now as Venus tries to go for the stun. Apex 47 will pop in a defensive minute furious. Numenon Blast gets charged in, but a good flicker from Kazue to deny it off of Venus. Still a flicker burns out. Venus thought there was someone in the bush, but it turns out Fireflux Impunity are again just avoiding team fights.
Yep, they don't need to interact with them right now. They're waiting for item power spikes, and especially if we're talking about item power spikes, we need to look at Sunshine right now. Currently level 5 against Owl, but he's struggling to walk out, right? Because we see time and time again, oh, if the Queen isn't in the mid lane, where is she going to be? Down by the bottom side.
Perhaps just running down onto the opponent's jungle will be the best case. Unfortunately, Cura didn't really quite manage to steal the purple buff.
Oh, and Alien's going to be baited in. Actually, now with the final slash as well, Alien should fall. And Blacklist International claim an equalizer kill in the 4th minute of the game. They might actually look for an invade even here into the enemy purple buff. But Kazua is able to clear it out. Apex 47 is able to just give vision to Fireflux Impunity.
Generally rather passive, and that's supposed to be the way that FIMP is going to be playing this composition. We're expecting Farmus to start stacking for as long as possible until he's able to get that early. I'm guessing he's going to go for the scaling type type item build, probably going to Pocket Destinies. If he wants to go for something to stack up a little bit faster, even can go for the Enchanted Talisman. That's generally up to him. He's got the components for it, but now we look at the next upcoming turtle up on that top side, and FIMP, they want to snowball through bottom. What? Blacklist, they've got a read.
Oh, good read by Venus, opening up the map once again, but that's going to be the knockdown onto Venus right now. The calls are stolen away. Mid Fury connecting, and Venus should fall here to Cura. Owl in Inverse Passion right now. Sunshine pops his on force. Up top, a trade, a good one for BLACKLIST International. Again, playing for the objectives.
FIMP are very much on the ball. They're constantly trying to get themselves ahead of the action on the side of BLACKLIST International. However, they are also not paying a lot of attention onto the objective. We've got BLACKLIST International that got 2 already so far, and bottom lane.
Zaman Force popped. Sunshine defensive. Defensive, very defensive. BLACKLIST International pushing the pace right now. So it's going to be actually just ambush here with a forced cold ultra out. Cura's looking for the back line, but it's not going to be able to find you as he dodges away from the cable. Wait. He's waiting for it. Oh, he finds the snipe, but it's not enough to take him down as the stun comes through. Cura is able to escape. It should just be BLACKLIST International with a free siege down below, and yes, it will. Perfect execution.
I am just, heavy deep breathing there, deep breathing. I thought that snipe for sure. He was holding it for a long time. He wanted to make sure he was real accurate with that one. But as we explained before, FIMP, they're going to take their time with this. And yes, bottom tier 1, that means that Beatrix is on lock. So now the initiative is on BLACKLIST International to keep the momentum up. Just like in game number 1, we saw that tier 1 fall, and instantly the lane swap comes after. And Wise, look at him, psycho Frederick, 2 levels up. He's going to keep doing this.
This is really unfortunate for the side of Fanny. Doesn't really have the orange buff to pretty much work with, while Wise is just threading within their jungles. Now, they're gonna have to deal with the threat of having a Joy that's proxying in the bottom lane, or perhaps even the Beatrix all the way out the top lane, farming, trying to bring down the first defense turret. Where do they even put all their emphasis on?
Well, if I was BLACKLIST International, I'd definitely be going to that top side. But FIMP, they can recognize this. They're like, okay, we saw how this worked out in the last game. Maybe we could just slow down that top side and look to catch somebody off that river, because in about 9 seconds, the next turtle is going to come through. The BLACKLIST still have to choose one of these objectives.
Ooh, wow. Lunar and Fury with a flicker from Yue, trying to just catch Sunshine, but it was a good read. Sunshine playing it again, just defensively. 6 minutes in, now to 7. BLACKLIST International holding on to that gold lead as Fireflex Impunity look for Prio for the first time ever that they will contest for a neutral objective. Apex 47 now with a minute Fury flicker combo! 5 more members! The first is there, the wrap blast cards in, Venus finds 3! But Cura is on the back, just dodging away. Wise now taunting up, disengaging, but Fireflex Impunity, they might have found a way back into the game.
You can definitely see the difference of Minoa and Fury's there. Yue, it's clear that he doesn't play Minotaur that often in comparison to Apex, who times that third hit so very well.
I thought that FIMP might possibly get a lot more out of the Minoa's Fury. 4 men out, I thought FIMP had the damage, but it makes sense, right? They're still waiting for the perfect time to eventually bring in the action, because their damage is just not quite there.
Retro battle right now, and it might just be disastrous for Cura, but that's gonna be Wise who steals it away with a Retribution.
They're punishing him. They're using Wise's lead. This is what I talk about when we think about multiple outs, right? For this mid-game right now, Owl, he's going to have the time of his life, but he can't necessarily push the tempo. Wise can, and he's going to keep on starving out Cura for the majority of this game. 2 levels up. You want your purple buff, you're going to have to fight me with your entire team, which is exactly what BLACKLIST want, especially when Apex doesn't have his own ult.
Well, so pretty much what we're going to be expecting top lane.
Numina Blast and the Menace Rage, a late Cold Ultra from Kazooie, not able to save his roamer. But I do want to talk a little bit about that turret falling in the bottom lane, because that was the reason they started rotating and invading.
That's why it's trigger points, right? Trigger points every single time. BLACKLIST follows a code, people that are trying to break. Yes, it follows the fundamentals, but the adaptation on top of that is what sets them apart from everybody else. Oh, God!
Whoa! Solo kill, utilizing the Master Assassin talent emblem. But look at top lane right now. Kazooie trying to bring Wise back with the Shadow Stampede, but Wise will just say, I'll walk and dash towards you. Now with the taunt, having full stacks for the Appraiser's Wrath, gonna go and steal away the orange buff. But down below, Cura will be able to pick up a turret to trade it away. Appraiser's Wrath was used up.
Wise truly does not care about the fact that he is in opponent's territory. He's very beefy, and unfortunately, FIMP just doesn't have the damage to work with him. FIMP's damage really shines in the backline.
This is the buff freeze, by the way, that BLACKLIST are doing right now. Oh, it's an early retreat!
Oh my!
From Cura, and that could be disastrous. Notice how the purple buff from BLACKLIST is not being touched at all.
no way to rotate, and especially with the neutral objective of Lord being on the top side, if anybody tries to go for Wise's purple, there's just no way. They will be spotted out, and there's no way to flank at the same time, right? They're covering all of the ground here in FIMP. You know, considering everything that's happened, I'm surprised that BLACKLIST are only 1.6k ahead. FIMP, they've got everything going for them, right? They've got 2 turrets. They've also got a little more kills.
This is called the buff freeze. This is what BLACKLIST like to do up against a Fanny or anyone who is very reliant on the purple buff. They kill up the big purple buff, but leave the small ones so it doesn't respawn, and they continuously just invade to the enemy jungle to take the purple buff away.
Making sure that you don't have it, especially if you are an assassin that relies on it. Now, looking on that top side, again, BLACKLIST, it looks like they want them to walk up and fight.
Well, it's just pretty much BLACKLIST International just playing the Lord's Dance. They're trying to do whatever that they can to just drag it on for a little while longer, waiting for FIMP to eventually make a mistake. They want FIMP to engage onto them while BLACKLIST International does their signature counter-engage. FIMP just can't find the avenue, and they probably just want to wait for the Kazue to actually make his way in. Or perhaps Apex 47 to go in first with a Minoan Fury. But FIMP just taking their own sweet time. They're biding their time, and only when the Lord gets a lot lower, then they will probably go for it.
So now blast with the flicker. Apex 47 is going to fall with the Venice Rage used up. A lot of ultimates.
As much as they want to try, Apex is still going down. With this Lord being slain, this is the next trigger point for BLACKLIST International. They have their win con going for them, and now the snowball is going to continue from here on until about the 14th minute of the game. If not IMP, they've been playing relatively passive in the early. We've seen them trade pretty evenly during the mid, and as we start rotating, especially when we're transitioning into the later stages of the game, right, we have to keep our eyes on people like Sunshine. How is he really, realistically trying to get in on this fight? They need to bait out, number one, the Numenon Blast. And Owl, I don't think he's going to be in a position which really compromises him unless he really flubs or makes a mistake. Or the secondary engage tool. Alien with the final slash, maybe with a flicker, could look for something big.
I don't think that FIMP have got the item that they want in order to deal with the front lines, or perhaps even onto the back lines. Cura, one of the main damage dealers of the team, don't have his buff, and they rely a lot onto that cables. So even if FIMP has got all of those setups coming in from Kazue, or perhaps even from Apex 47, or perhaps even from Alien, how exactly are they supposed to bring the mid lines, or perhaps the back lines down? Sunshine is not quite there yet. 1-0-1, don't have much of that pressure. But BLACKLIST, every single one of the players, every single one of these heroes have pressure.
They're going to have to scale then. I mean, Alien, ooh, final slash into the top rush here. Just to try and make it work. And even for Kura, right, it's difficult for him to farm in his own jungle. BLACKLIST have that level of influence over him.
And that should be the red tree again from Wise. He picks up the purple buff. There's not much Fireflux Impunity can do at this point, but just wait it out. Turtle in their base, looking for trades across the board. And this is the risk of bringing a Harith into the gold lane. Did you see the difference in gold between Beatrix and Harith?
Huge. Quite a significant difference here. But let's not forget, right? Kazue, he's still stacking up pretty quick. The fact that he hasn't died, meaning that his charges are slowly becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until he falls down. That's when we're expecting to see him start to fall off. So they still have an opportunity in these big 5v5 fights. And if they can kind of clump them up together with the final slash into the Minoan Fury, maybe there's an opportunity there. But at the end of the day, Kura, it's not like it's up to him, right? He just has to wait it out.
But even over time, Kazue's fall off will start to get a lot more apparent. And BLACKLIST International, they're still taking their own time.
A blast from Venus all the way to the back line right now, but Kazue is still able to survive. That's a terrifying, I mean, Fury as well. That's a 3-man knockup coming in. That's Venus taken down. Kura's looking for more. Doesn't have the energy necessary to look for more, but they will take it. A 1-for-0 in favor of Fireflux Impunity.
Now, notice that BLACKLIST International, if this was a team that was dead even with them, and especially if Fanny maybe had a purple buff, I don't think they would have even tried to attempt to go for such an aggressive play. But the fact is, they've got all the resources in the world, and they know that it's a clear disadvantage. Wait, hold on.
No call alter. Edward's using it. Sunshine's gonna be gunned down, and Edward finds the kill with the rhythm and the vengeance. Now Alien is the next target on the priority list, and Owl takes him out with an Amir's passion, swaps out to Renner's apathy. He wants to look for his snipe here, but nobody's low enough. Meanwhile, down below, Cura is able to pick up 2 turrets, tier 1 and tier 2. Actually, the tier 1 was taken away earlier. Look at Yue, the way they're sandwiching Cura down. The Filipino sandwich, but Cura is still able to escape. He saved the energy and he bought enough time. Now BLACKLIST International, they've sent Wise all alone to go for the Lord. FIMP, what do they do?
They can't. They have to give this Lord here unless Cura is going to try and be a hero, try to be a legend to steal this away. I don't see it realistically happening.
Apex 47 is not looking good at all. The entirety of BLACKLIST International just wants to zone the entirety of FIMP away.
Oh, Cura has to use the cables defensively. Edward's going to be chased down, but Sunshine can't get that basic attack to reset the second skill, and Wise will just go to town. Yue actually is the one who takes the orange buff.
I mean, Yue has been playing a very hot game since game number 1, coming into game number 2 as well. He's been making sure that he is holding on to these big-ticket ultimates, whether it be the Minoan Fury or whether we are seeing him hold on to the Cult Altar. These are insurance policies, right? And you can tell that this time, BLACKLIST International, they want to fight to win.
Ow, indeed. Owl threading the needle. Apex 47 and Alien were in front of him. The fact that he found Sunshine, that was impressive. Cura, again, just having to micromanage these waves without the purple buff. Can you imagine being a walking fanny?
It's not fun. And in 6 seconds, Wise is going to get another purple buff too.
The Lord is eventually going to be making his way down to the bottom lane. All of the exterior turrets is going to be finding a lot of problems.
Minoan Fury, but the Minoan Blast is right there. Final Splash cancels it out as Apex 47 is able to flicker out of the range. Alien using the Vengeance. Is jumping back and forth, resetting to save that base turret, but in the mid lane, the tier 2 should fall. Doesn't seem like it's gonna fall. As BLACKLIST, they will go and prioritize. Oh, wow, Owl! They'll go prioritize the purple buff, but yeah, Owl, very rude, he cut me off.
A lot of damage here. I mean, at this point, it's basically, the mid-tier 2 is essentially done for, right? They've got the Beatrix, wait, hold on.
Alien caught as the final slash though, but the Appraiser's Wrath locks onto him and he's going to be forced to commit the flicker out. And Owl, once again, is just sieging. This is why the Beatrix is so prio right now. Once you get that snowball, go! How? Owl is a monster on this Beatrix.
He's real accurate. He's taken a couple of notes from Oheb for sure. Oh, they're going to continue doing this, right? Siege them underneath the turret. Utilize Renner as much as they can and start harassing their opponents underneath their inhibitor turrets.
And this is where the kind of like the snowball begins, right? BLACKLIST International has mostly been playing very safe, and they are just kind of holding onto the river line. And only once they have gotten more of the objective, they got a second Lord onwards, FIMP just gets completely starved out of food, and there's just not much of that skilling that we want to see. By then, BLACKLIST International already is way ahead, and with the 7,000 gold ahead, they can pretty much tank up against any shots from FIMP.
I mean, we say that, but also the fact that FIMP is at 44, it means that this gold lead is soon about to end. It really doesn't matter how much gold, unless you're thinking about situational items, which BLACKLIST needs to start taking full advantage of if they want to close out this game.
If he finds another snipe, that's going to be insane, but it doesn't even need to connect Venus! With the Dominant Blast and Yue with the Minoan Fury! The combo together, right on time as well. How do you get better than this? BLACKLIST International are playing the cleanest MLBB I have ever seen.
It's like 5 men left, but Sunshine fights himself taken down!
Bennett's rage to take him out with his Amon Force already popped in. Cura as well finds a tier 2 up top, but it doesn't matter. BLACKLIST respond to every single play, but they're also able to react and make these proactive movements.
All right, BLACKLIST agents out there. Somebody has got to draw Wise on Fredrin as Dio, because he just walks you down. He's a psycho for a reason. He knows he's strong.
Oh, what do you even do right now? Firefox Impunity, Cura tried to look for an opening to go for that Lord, but he just simply can't. He gets bursted down by Yue, Edward, Owl.
You just let it happen for now. You really just gotta let it happen, because no matter what they do, BLACKLIST International is able to stop you in their tracks. They know for a fact that Oh My Venus doesn't have that flicker. Oh, Cura, please get out of here. Your team is gonna need you for this upcoming Lord push. And even when we're looking at the items, right, we're slowly getting to that max. Couple more until we see those final items, but a majority, and especially the core items that are necessary, are there in comparison to look over to BLACKLIST International with their their 8.7k lead, they can start switching them out however they like.
I was really wanting to hope and see the Sunshine will be able to do a little bit more into the front lines as long as the Zaman Force is available. However, BLACKLIST International's ultimate bases, and they are just constantly jumping right in and catching FIMP out. The only thing that they can do is just immediately back off and doesn't really have much of a fight.
Oh, he's gonna get it down. Damn! Ow, are you so good? Minute Fury now, Apex 47 is gonna be locked down, but now Blast. Alien into the mist with a vengeance, but he gets bursted down too quick. Owl getting people down with the Nibiru. He walks off forward. Kuro's able to clear out the Lord right now. So many ways come crashing down. Kuro with the cables once again. But Owl finds another. He is indeed unstoppable! Owl is the new Filipino sniper. He'll take that mantle from Oheb.
Oh my god. How accurate is he? I don't know what OHEB has told him, but they've got some kind of secret tech there to make sure that they land every single one of those shots.